Mr. Gary, you talk about the history of dehydrated food.
Being a historian, I think it might be interesting to tell you where the
Okay, hold it down.
started.
They started in the military, didn't they?
Missionaries in Utah to try
Eddie,
and.
Mr. Geddings is gonna talk about the history of dehydrated food. Are you gonna talk about dehydrated popcorn too this day?
I don't know that they had popcorn, but it's interesting, I think, and I just happened to know since she was doing this presentation I can tell you where the dehydrated foods first originated during the Civil War. About the second year of the Civil War, the Confederates captured a supply station. I think it was in Ohio. I don't know all the facts, but this is basically true. And confiscated all the goods that were there and loaded them on horses and everything, took off back south. Well, they got back down south, and you can imagine at that particular time in a period of time that feeding an army, moving an army, and they were both moving all the time, was quite a feat. Thousands and thousands of men to be fed at least twice a day. Most of them didn't get fed but once a day. But it was quite a feat to keep all these people fed and healthy so that they could fight the war. All right, well, the Confederates captured this supply station, brought all the supplies back south, and when they started going through the supplies, they discovered all these little packets of things, and of course the instructions were there, and it was dehydrated food. Our northern friends had learned how to dehydrate food, and they were supplying the Northern Army out in the field with these dehydrated foods, which was very good. The guys in camp, they put the little packets on the, in the backpacks and one thing and another. When they got to camp, they just pulled out some, and there's written accounts of it, and the Southerners were quite impressed with the coffee, which they hadn't had a whole lot of. And they had little packets of coffee that had cream and sugar already in it. Of course they had some with or without, according to how you preferred it, but the dehydrated coffee packets had that in. They just zip it and put a little water in it, and you had a fine cup of coffee. And then the dehydrated foods, I don't know what all types were there. I don't think they had any popcorn at that time. They might have. But that's where it originated. And for the rest of the war, the Northern Army was supplied on a regular basis with these dehydrated foods. The Southern Army started trying here in Columbia and in the South to produce these things, but the war went against them, and they had a very rough time, and they never got it done. And as you all know, at the end of the war, the troops were about starved to death. And the northern troops were well fed because they had the supply of dehydrated foods. That's where it came from.
All right, Mr. Geddings, give Mr. Geddings a round of applause.
Thank you.
So